Hello guys, this is rAlbEr from rAlbErTV, and today I want to talk to you about patrolling and some of the tools you have to increase the efficiency of the engages that you do and to improve the results of the fights. So let's take a look into that. We're gonna go with deathmatch for the demonstration. I'm gonna start making some buildings to produce units. I'll go for stables and for ranges. Give me one more build. And okay, I guess everyone pretty much knows about the basics of patrolling. When you patrol a unit between 2 points, it just moves back and forth between the starting point and the destination point. And if an enemy unit or building comes along the way, your military unit will start attacking it on its own automatically, which is very useful when you go into the enemy base and you are not paying close attention to the units, because they will engage whatever comes along the way, which might be an army or whatever. There are also other advantages in using patrol as in comparison with going with normal movement, and it's that the units usually engage better when you send them patrolling. When you attack manually, they will want to attack the unit you selected, and some of them will be able to reach it and attack it fine, but a lot of the other units will have trouble reaching and getting in range to attack that particular unit, and they will start moving around dumbly and wasting a lot of time they could be using attacking other units. Which doesn't happen with patrolling. When you patrol, they will usually attack whatever is closer to them, and they will engage more efficiently because of that, and output more damage in a fight, which will lead to better results. There's also another thing that's worth mentioning. It's that when you are moving units manually, you have a restriction. You cannot go on top of other units of your own. But when you are patrolling a group of units, they ignore that restriction. They can pile on top of each other. See what happens, for example, if I patrol really close. They just move on top of each other and they compress, which can be very helpful in fights, especially for the ranged units. You attack manually with ranged units. Usually the ones in the front get into max range and start attacking, which is fine, but the ones in the back have to move around into... What? I told them to attack this back, why didn't they do it? The ones that are in the back usually don't get into max range. There's some kind of bug here. I think when the enemy unit is moving, they just go to where it was and stay there. Oh, it didn't happen this time. As you can see, the ones on the front usually get to max range and start attacking right away, but the ones that are in the back don't have to move around to get into range and attack, and they have to walk around the units that you have. Meanwhile, if you patrol in them, they a lot of the time compress and start attacking all together, which will lead to faster engages and more efficient fighting, higher damage output, which is ideal when you want to fight. That's very nice. Those are very well-known aspects of patrolling that I think everyone knows and uses, but there are some aspects that are not as known, and those are the ones I want to focus on this tutorial. They added a new feature. I think it's in HD. I don't know if it works on Bully or not. I haven't tested it yet. It's a difference between attacking patrolling in aggressive or hot ground. When you're attacking aggressive, when an enemy unit comes in range, all your units will chase it and start attacking it. But when you patrol in hot ground, only the units are in attack range will attack that particular unit, and the other units will keep moving. That's especially not noticeable on the melee units, because You see here, as paladins come in range of the house and they start attacking, paladins come in range of the paladin and start attacking, but most of them don't come into attack range of other units and they keep moving forward. And that's quite a difference, and that's something you can make use of if you need specific results out of the patrol you are using. And there's also another thing that's very noticeable when patrolling, and that's that melee units, when they come into line of vision or something, they start walking very slowly and having like breaks in the walking and acting weird. And they waste a lot of time not knowing what to do and just moving around like dumb. But there's a way to come around that a lot of people don't know about, and it's not that much use, which is the passive instance. When you set that unit to passive, it ignores everything and it doesn't attack or does anything at all. And when you combine it with patrolling, I'll show you what happens. See, they keep moving in the line, and they ignore the units that you're coming across. And only when you change them to aggressive, they disband and start attacking. If you press passive again, they regroup and resume moving. What? Oh, I messed up. Okay, let's reset the patrol. So I patrol them in passive here, and they ignore the units that are coming along the way. And when I switch them to aggressive, that's when they break the formation and start attacking. And I can resume the pathing, pressing the passive button again, and then choose when I want them to engage again, which can be very helpful, especially if you are moving on top of a group of archers or things like that with melee units like champions that are very slow, and when they start having pathing problems like the ones that happen when you patrol on aggressive, I mean, it can lead to horrible fights where they don't do any damage at all and just die for free. If you combine the two stances, the passive for the walking and the aggressive for the attacking when you are in position, you can get much better results. And that can make the difference between winning and losing fights, which is very nice. They added another feature in HD, which is the, what do they call it? I need a unit for that. Aggressive displacement, I guess, or something like that, which is a mix between patrolling and walking. What it does is you select a destination point, and if they come along something along the way, they will start attacking it. And the difference with patrolling is that they don't go back to the starting point, they just go to the place you ordered them to go, which is nice. It has some uses too. But anyway, there's another aspect of another use you can make of the passive instance, and that's, for example, when you are fighting with ranged units and you want to bait enemy fight, you know, you can do it manually with one of the units. You can move it back and forth manually, which is fine, but it demands a lot of control. You could do it the same with patrolling and with a passive instance. It will move back and forth on its own, and if enemy doesn't have ballistics, or even if it has ballistics, it will miss a lot of shoots and a lot of potential damage, which will help you. You know, ballistic usually hit you when you move in a straight line. They shoot to a target and they compensate for the movement, but if you change way midway through, they will miss anyway. So if you do a very short pathing, it will usually change directions in the middle of the arrow fly, so it will miss a lot of hits. And that can be very helpful. And there's another thing you can do to improve the result of your patrol fights. I talked to you about the problems that the units have when they engage in the aggressive, and that's something you can exploit to your advantage when you are engaging enemy armies. You can use some of your units to disrupt their grouping and their patrol and the pathing of their units. I cannot demonstrate that well against computer because it doesn't group and it doesn't patrol, but if you use a unit that's paid to disrupt the way the enemy patrol behaves, you can use that to get better results out of the engage. You can bait some of the units to go away from the fight. You can bait some of the units to chase the bait while they are not attacking and making damage, which is nice. I could kind of demonstrate it with my own army. If they were patrolling like this, and I baited them, some of the paladins will start chasing it, and you know, doing the moonwalk and bugging, and maybe I could chase them out of the fight or just disrupt their patrolling. Meanwhile, my main army might come and engage them in a much more efficient way, and that's something you can use to your advantage too. And those were some of the advanced things about patrolling that I wanted to talk to you about, which I think can be very helpful and make the difference in certain situations and help you win games. So I hope you found them useful. I hope you found something that maybe you hadn't thought of or that you didn't know, or that at least made you thought about a different way of using some of the tools that you have at your disposal. And also I kind of forgot to tell you about another use of the passive instant, and that's for retreating. You know, the AoC units bug a lot when moving, and that's quite frustrating when you are disengaging or you want to go to a certain place and they start shooting back when they shouldn't. They should just be moving, or they move dumbly. Sometimes switching to the passive stance can help with that, and they will be less tempted, let's say, to attack back or to back in other ways. So it can be helpful to move the units back, but then again, you have to be careful when you use the passive instance, because if you forget about the units and leave them like that, they are gonna be useless unless you switch them back to an aggressive instance. So you have to be careful, because it might lead to you wasting some of the units, which is exactly the opposite of what you want to do when playing. So that's it for today's vid, guys. I thought you liked it. You know, I have more vids like this in my blog if you want to check them out, and I hope to see you around. Goodbye.